Hey Scorpio, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique bringing you your September energy forecast. So September is going to highlight for us our winter season. 3 months prior to our birthday, things fall apart. We become a little bit more introverted. We move inward in order to reflect, review all that has transpired. We have to see where things are coming full circle. We have to see where things are ending in order to provide us a clean slate for brand new things to begin once our birthday season hits and the sun downloads us with the solar infusion, the light codes that we're going to use for our next natal year. So we're coming into September under Virgo season. Virgo season very much highlighting for us our 11th house. The 11th house is about connections. It's about visions and dreams. It's recognizing what our hopes and dreams actually are and putting us in a prime time to connect with the right people, being in the right place in order to give birth to a brand new ideas, to really collaborate on innovative ideas where we can set ourselves up for new goals, new desires, and new dreams. Venus will be moving into Virgo on September 5th. Venus moving into Virgo, being the goddess of love and beauty and worth and pleasure and money, in this 11th house screams meeting the right people at the right time, likely in efforts to take care of ourselves. Venus in Virgo has us kind of down to earth, being a little bit more practical, recognizing what it is our physical bodies is asking for us. We have to nurture ourselves back to a place of wholeness. And in doing so, whether that means you're out at the gym, you're at the yoga studio, you're at a healthy eating restaurant, something to do with taking care of oneself will land you smack dab in the path of the right kinds of like-minded people that you need to be connecting with in order to collaborate with, to bounce ideas off of, to have conversations with that will essentially have light bulbs be flashing in your head, new ideas, new inspirations being downloaded in your mental plane that is going to really kind of open up a brand new cycle on what it is that you want for yourself for your new natal year. On September 9th, we have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, retrograding in Libran energy. This will be taking place in the 12th house for you, which means that there is a lot of hidden thoughts, hidden emotions, unconscious little fragments from our past coming up to be acknowledged. The 12th house is our intuition, our soul self, where karmic connections are also made. And Mercury, being ruler of the mental plane, always takes us back. Especially in Libran energy, there is likely going to be some X's that come out of the word work, either physically or in a dream state. Because this is the 12th house, this is likely a re-examination, if you will, of the soul contracts that you have had to experience in your life in order for you to pluck out the silver linings, the spiritual lessons, for you to see that all of those relationships, all of that pain, all of that trauma, all of the wounds, all of the suffering was absolutely necessary in order for you to truly step into your power. Scorpio, being the alchemist of the Zodiac, needs to learn about ourselves through other people and, of course, painful experiences in order for us to alchemize that darkness into light, to really change that pain and turn it into power. Because Mercury is retrograding in Libra, the ruler of relationships, especially in this 12th house, we are going to have a huge revelation, a huge realization on the spiritual lessons, the karmic contracts, the karmic connections that we had to encounter in order to prepare us for this present day. Why? Because we are about to see the scales of justice rebalanced in our favor. And with this Libran energy really kind of showing us where we have to restore our mind, our body, our soul, this little deep dive into our shadow realm of our karmic connections is likely going to trigger a new goal for us to restore ourselves back to wholeness, back to our truest power, and prepare us to deepen the connection of our existing relationships. On September 10th, we have the full moon in Pisces. The full moon in Pisces is going to kind of illuminate for us the progress, the growth that we've been able to make since February and March of this year in bringing some of our dreams to life. Now, here's the thing. Full moon in Pisces, being a water sign, likely isn't going to be as emotionally tumultuous as it will be for most signs. But the one factor that is going to kind of add some edge is that the full moon in Pisces will be taking place in Scorpio's 5th house, the heart chakra. So because this is a very dreamy aspect, because our intuition is very strong at this point, we also have to remember that Pisces energy is here to bring an ending and a closure to some of the pain, some of the trauma that we've been holding on to in our heart chakras. The 5th house is where we've put walls up around our heart space, thinking that we can protect ourselves from being hurt from other people. When realistically, we're going to realize that this has created a prison. This has created a detachment, a disconnection, which has really put us at odds because Scorpios crave and create the most connection, the most intimacy in their bonds. The full moon in Pisces is going to crack open our heart chakras in a way that shows us where we have to be a little bit more raw and authentic and vulnerable again, where it is that we have to get real with what it is that our heart craves, our soul desires, and what it is we actually want to create, not only romantically, but also in the way that we are expressing ourselves. There is a huge want, need, and desire for us to jump into artistry or music in order to kind of channel our inner realm into something tangible that makes sense in our exterior realm. There's a lot of feels that are coming up for us around the 10th, and the full moon in Pisces is going to shine a bright light on what it is we have to let go from our heart space in order to create a space, a platform, a stage for new elements to actually be born, be created, and be birthed. On the 22nd, we have Libra season beginning, initiating the fall equinox. Now, this typically is when we, as a collective, get an opportunity to rebalance the scales, where things are even playing field once again. But Libra season, although very focused on relationships, although very focused on trying to move out of the extremes of life and find that happy middle grounding point in between, Libra season is also setting up camp in this 12th house. The 12th house being the hidden realm, being our soul self, our spiritual lessons. Now, many of us Scorpios learn the hard way when it comes to relationships, learn the hard way when it comes to our own power, our own energy in relationships. We tend to get all consumed in relationships, and God forbid they don't work out. We hold on to that pain, to that trauma, to that suffering, even consciously, let alone unconsciously. So Libra season is here to kind of bring an awareness on what it is that we're currently holding on to as far as past karma, past soul contracts are concerned. This is going to help us kind of balance out our spiritual realm with our physical realm, because Scorpios, of course, live inside their inner realm more than they take part in their exterior realm. And there is a calling, a want, need, and desire to recognize where it is that we have to become a little bit more of a participant in the physical realm, more so than living introvertedly in our inner realm. All of this is set to trigger and activate us to prepare us for a clean slate that is coming with birthday season. On the 23rd, we have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, still retrograde, but moving back into Virgo energy. So likely when Mercury first goes retrograde in Libran energy, we're going to have some things fall apart. We're going to have our exes come back again, either in a physical form or in a dream form, memories, flashbacks coming back in order to test us, in order to crack us wide open and show us where it is that we aren't quite done healing those said wounds. Whatever pops off while Mercury is retrograde in Libra will be fixed, will be corrected when Mercury moves back into Virgo energy. And when Mercury moves back into Virgo energy, that again takes up place in our 11th house. Now, Mercury being the ruler of the mental plane and in Virgo energy, which is very, very analytical, really wants to restructure and organize our mental plane, our focus. But in the 11th house is a reevaluation of our goals, of our our dreams, of our wishes, of our vision, of our desire. It's also a redo. Maybe we didn't reconnect with the right people. Maybe we didn't cross paths with new people that are going to get us in the right position to achieve our goals. Whatever didn't happen will be happening now that we get a redo in this Virgo energy. In the 11th house, we also have to look out for recreating or redesigning the healthy habits that maybe we failed to bring to life around the first time through August, when we were supposed to be implementing healthy diets, health and wellness regimens, meditation, yoga practice. We have to make a little bit more time to balance the energy between our mind, our body, our soul. Mercury going retrograde in Virgo in this 11th house again will have us kind of recalibrating our focus, our highest form of intellect. That 11th house is Uranian ruled, and Mercury is the lower level intellect of this Uranian energy, which means that we are likely going to have some very good ideas come into our lives, what it is for new tasks and chores and goals and projects that we want to initiate. We're also likely going to have some light bulb moments where connecting the dots from our past situations to this present moment is going to make a whole hell of a lot more sense when we recognize what it is that we haven't been making the connection about, so that we can integrate that lesson, that knowledge, that wisdom into the here and now, so that the plans that we're making for our new natal year won't suffer the same kinds of consequences that we've had due to our past experiences. It's almost like a total realization of the step-by-step process that is needed from our past experiences to the here and now, so that the here and now can position us for success as we move into our next solar and natal year. The new moon in Libra on the 25th will be highlighting this 12th house of our spiritual selves, of repressed emotion and memories of our past. Now, there is a reconciliation very possible under this new moon in Libra with a past friend, a past coworker, a past lover. There is a reconnection of sorts with an old situation coming back to the present moment for a second look, for a redo, for a second go. Now, the new moon in Libra wants us focused on what it is that we want to kind of invite into our realms for the next cycle, where relationships are concerned, where making peace with certain circumstances, certain situations are concerned, getting our mind and our heart space in agreement so that by the time our birthday can roll around, we can engage the physical body and actually take action to start manifesting some of the dreams and some of the visions that will be illuminated to us under the new moon in Libra. We also, on the 29th, have Venus moving into Libran energy, its place of power, in this 12th house as well. You best believe that your psychic abilities, your intuition is going to pop off. Your dream state is going to be super revealing. Venus being in Libra needs us to realize where we have to create more time and space in our lives in order to be happy, to have joy, to love, and to fall in love with love. And in the 12th house, there's likely some flashbacks from previous lives, from previous this life experience, coming back to recalibrate how it is that we value ourselves, where it is that we need to love ourselves. A huge boost of confidence and optimism coming at Scorpios with this Venus in Libran energy, and really positioning us to be more open to either deepening current relationships or opening ourselves up to new relationships that will likely get sparked and reignited under our birthday season. So this is going to be a huge month for reflection, for kind of reconnecting with other people. Again, Scorpios have been a little bit introverted lately, living in our own inner realms. And I totally get that. Physical realm is not so happy as of now, but we are needed as an active participant. I feel like September will position Scorpios to make the connections needed, to connect the dots, to be standing in the here and now, and prepared to be a little bit more involved in the physical realm, initiating wants, needs, and desires once birthday season comes around. want. Please focus on your goals. Please focus on the new dreams, the new visions that you actually want to see manifest. Many of my Scorpio friends do not focus on manifestation because they don't know what they want. They have too many options, too many opportunities all the time, and it becomes overwhelming. The lack of focus is Scorpio's biggest problems, because once we can actually focus on something, we become hyper fixated, and there's absolutely no chance in hell that we can't manifest what it is that we put our time, our energy, our love, our attention, and focus into. I feel like we are preparing ourselves for a brand new adventure that we're likely not going to be prepared to jump into until the end of September. However, because of the home and family dysfunction at this particular time, we are going to be feeling a little bit calmer, a little bit more stable in that area. But we do have some choices to make. We have two different paths that we can currently be walking right now with what it is that we want to do for our home environment and the people in it over this next year. And I feel like finances, of course, are a major contributing factor, but Scorpios are about to be moving into a season, especially in Scorpio season and Sag season, where the money is going to increase, where the abundance is going to roll in, and where some of the things, some of the dreams, some of the visions that you currently want to make possible that currently aren't financially possible will be possible when birthday season hits. I feel like career-wise, many of my Scorpios are growing very bored with what it is that they're currently doing. That doesn't mean you have to quit your job altogether. It just means that you have to be a little bit more interested in learning and expanding your mind. Go back to school, take a course, dive into metaphysics, do some personal development. It will help the inner conflict that you're currently experiencing between your heart and between your head. Expect the full moon in Pisces to be illuminating where it is that you either have succeeded in bringing some of your dreams, your goals, your visions to life, and where it is that you have failed miserably. Chalk it up to an experience. This is the time to kind of discern the path that you want to take from here, instead of setting up camp in all the disappointments and all the failures that you've had to experience over this last year. Now, the relationship factor is going to come in hot and heavy. And, Scorpios always kind of dabble and struggle with relationships because they do kind of get consumed and forget who they are in relationships. This is going to be a month where we get to rebalance the scales between who it is that we are and who it is that we become when we share ourselves with other people. Recognizing the wants, the needs, the desires for connection, for intimacy is a huge thing. Many of my Scorpios are so freaking guarded. They just avoid the vulnerability like the plague. But here's the thing, that fifth house, that heart chakra is getting cracked wide open in all the right ways, which is going to make you feel crazy, going to make you feel very vulnerable, which isn't, Scorpio's strongest suit. But here's the thing, emotions and alchemizing the bad from the good are Scorpio's strongest suit, which means that as long as you're listening to your heart and soul, as long as you're being real with yourself and keeping it 100%, you're not going to get derailed by aligning and joining your life with someone else. You can let the guard down. You can let them get in closer. You can allow and permit yourself to actually want, need, and desire the company, the companionship, the intimacy, the partnership of someone else. So focus on balance this month, Scorpio. Focus on balancing the relationship within, and then recognize how when you are in good standing with yourself, that your relationships with other people tend to reflect that as well. This is going to be a time where, it does get a little bumpy before it gets, smooth sailing. This is going to be a time where you do have to kind of let your mental plane crack down on you and kind of fall apart in order for you to rebuild the narrative, the focus, the perspective, the understanding in a better way. But it's time for you to walk away from some of the things that you've been holding on to. Those negative thoughts, those negative vibrations, those negative memories, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, are deeply impacting the choices that you're making here and now. And it's almost like you have to give yourself permission to wholeheartedly walk away from some of the past pain and trauma that you now are realizing was absolutely spiritually essential for you to experience, or else you would never be at this place of power within yourself. It's time to get your mind right, Scorpio. It's time to focus in on what it it is that you've been allowing to consume your mind that hasn't been doing anything good for you, that's only been blocking the blessings in which you've been praying for. And also, it's time for you to refocus your mind, hone in on what it is that you actually want for yourself, and allow yourself to dream. The mental plane is a huge factor this month, and getting a grip, sorting things out, and redefining the path, the goal, the energy, the dream, the vision, the focus is going to be a major contributing factor of the success that you are going to experience in your next natal year. So get it together, Scorpio. You have the energy, you have the power to do so. It's time to stop making excuses for your disappointments in life, for your lack of manifesting. You are a very powerful being, but you have to hone in that mental plane on focusing on the dream and on the vision that you actually want to be experiencing. I hope you have a great month. We'll talk to you soon.